the How to Cut Weight for Wrestling DVD. My name's Steve Preston, and I'm going to be your coach, your mentor, and your guide, okay? I'm the owner of WrestlingPerformance.com, and that's a membership site for wrestlers, coaches, and parents who want improved mat performance. And within that site, I've got a forum. And on that forum, inevitably, the questions I get more than anything else have to do with wrestling nutrition and how to cut weight. And a long time ago, I decided that weight cutting isn't just something you do in order to, for sports where you got to cut down and make a weight. It's a science. And if you don't get the science right, you're never going to perform your best in wrestling. You might wind up winning your wrestling match by default because the other wrestler isn't as technically sound, perhaps wasn't as conditioned or weaker. But you'll personally wrestle your best if you don't learn to cut weight correctly. And so I have spent a good part of the last 20 years really kind of investigating and studying different methods that actually work better for wrestlers who want to cut weight. Okay. Now, before I to what you should eat and supplementing and post-workout and just little tricks and strategies to actually make weight and keep your strength. What I want to do is really kind of get into what you're doing now and why it doesn't work well. Okay. And the first big mistake that wrestlers make when trying to cut weight is either starving themselves or eating very little. Okay. And in order to really understand why this is such a problem, let's really talk about what food is. Okay? Food, anything you eat, is made up of 3 macronutrients. Okay, those are proteins, carbohydrates, and fat. Now, junk foods and other things, they have a lot of preservatives and additives and chemicals and real crap that we definitely want to stay away from. So I'm going to assume right now that those are out of the picture, and we're just talking about relatively healthy food to begin with, okay? And so it's got protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are 3 macronutrients. Those 3 macronutrients are necessary in the body so that your micronutrients can perform their body functions. Your micronutrients are your vitamins, your minerals, and water. So the protein and the carbohydrates that we eat, protein is used for repair and growth. Carbohydrates are your body's preferred number 1 source of energy, and then your fats are used to regulate your body's hormone levels, and it's also a secondary energy source for your body in the absence of carbohydrates. Now, protein and carbohydrates, for every gram that you eat, they contain 4 calories. Fats are a little more nutritionally dense, and for every gram of fat that you consume, you have 9 calories, okay? And that's just something for you to keep in the back of your mind for now. We're not going to do a whole lot of calorie counting with this program, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So, yourself, eat little. That's what wrestlers typically do when they want to make a weight class, okay? So if you don't eat much, you're still placing high demands on your body in wrestling practice and tournaments and whatnot. Your body has to get energy somewhere, doesn't it? It's just like your body is a high-performance sports car, and the gasoline that you put in it is the energy, okay? And this energy that you're not giving your body, that it has to get from somewhere, guess where it's going to pull it from? It's going to pull it from your muscle. People like to think that it's going to come from the fat, but when you don't give yourself enough calories, you put your body in a stressed situation. Your body is very smart. It says, oh my God, he's starving me. I've got to hold on to this fat that I have, because fat, like I said, every gram has 9 calories. It's nutritionally, it's more bang for the buck for the body, and the body wants to hold on to body fat when it thinks it's starving. So what it's going to do is muscle. See, because when you eat carbohydrates, those carbohydrates break down into these chains of molecules, okay, called glucose. And glucose then gets broken down, converted into something called glycogen, which is stored in the muscles. That is your muscle energy, okay? When you don't give yourself enough food, your body has to borrow from that muscle energy, and it actually pulls branched chain amino acids and glycogen out of the muscle. And really, since that's what makes up muscle, what your body is doing is cannibalizing and eating its own muscle for food, okay? So as a result, what you get is, in doing this, you get a wrestler who at the beginning of the season, after football and everything is, big stud on campus, and halfway through the season, his chest is sunken in, he looks like a walking potato chip, as a friend of mine used to say. And it really, if you continue this indefinitely, you would wind up dying, because you're eating away your own tissue, okay? That's why you feel like crap, that's why you can't wrestle. All right, so your body can't starve in order to properly cut weight for wrestling, okay? And so I'm sure you're going to be happy to know that my plan, you're going to wind up eating more food than ever, okay? Now, the second thing wrestlers do is they dehydrate themselves, okay? Whether it's spitting in a cup, whether it's running, with plastics on, sitting in a sauna, not drinking any water. That's all forms of dehydration. And if you've heard any of the stories of these young wrestlers that have died, and had heart attacks, this is why, because they dehydrated their bodies. It puts an enormous amount of stress on the heart, the kidneys, and the liver. And really, it becomes a problem, and you can't wrestle because of the way the muscle cells work. See, each muscle cell has water on the inside, and that's called intracellular water. And then you have water on the outside of the muscle cells, which is extracellular water. And the methods that wrestlers typically use in these, to dehydrate quickly and make weight and everything, what it does is it takes the intracellular water, the water inside the muscle cells, and that's what it uses. So the cells shrink up and get weak and crusty and don't work, okay? And this is where, with my system, you're going to learn to think more like a bodybuilder, believe it or not. See, bodybuilders are the masters of getting rid of extracellular water, the water between the muscle cells and the skin, okay? And that's what gives them that really shredded look and everything under the lights. And I'm not trying to turn you into a bodybuilder by any means, but bodybuilders always think about restricting water and dehydrating stuff as a science rather than just making weight. So we're going to borrow a little bit from them in this program as well. And you're going to find that you're going to actually drink water as you get ready to make weight. And then when you really load up afterwards, you're going to feel stronger than ever. And it's not going to be one of these conditions where it actually takes 6 hours to 3 days to actually feel normal again. That's how it really works, okay? And if you beat up your body, it's going to take that long before you can get your body feeling right again. So we're not going to go through any dehydration methods, and we're going to basically throw that all out as old school crap and learn the actual, real, productive methods to keeping hydrated, keeping food in your body, actually eating a lot more food than you've ever eaten and still making weight, okay? And then the third thing I just want to graze real quickly before I get into what foods you should eat is the jogging, okay? Wrestlers love jogging, and jogging in itself is it's aerobic, okay? Wrestling is anaerobic. Aerobic means with oxygen, okay? Therefore, anaerobic is without oxygen. And the needs of a wrestling match to actually be conditioned and everything are anaerobic, okay? So I personally don't believe in using much jogging other than at the very beginning of a program to condition for wrestling, okay? You might want to build an aerobic base to get a stronger anaerobic development later, but wrestlers love to jog because they think that's going to help them make weight. And as I mentioned before with starvation, jogging makes the body, after a while, feel as if it's starving, okay? Because it's conflicted. you know, it wants to get in shape for wrestling, but then you're throwing this completely perverse training of jogging at it while you're trying to make weight. You're going endless miles, and you do this every day and everything. And this, again, starts to break down the muscle tissue, using the muscle as energy, holding on fat. And if you don't believe me, simply look at tapes of some previous Olympics, and you'll see, look at the sprinters and look at the distance runners. Who's shredded and more muscular? The sprinters, okay? And so jogging to make weight is only going to drain you. It's only going to make your body hold on to fat and get weak, and overall it's going to lead to injuries and nothing productive towards your wrestling season. So we're not going to starve, we're not going to dehydrate, and we're not going to jog, okay? And with these three things in mind, I'm going to give you a program, as you can see in a few minutes, that's going to help you get ready for this season and be able to stabilize your blood sugar level and make sure that you can make weight every time.